Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Preserving History and Democracy. My name is Cynthia Diaz, Communications Coordinator for the Doña Ana County Clerk's Office. I am joined today by our amazing producer, Bernardine Caporale. Hi, Bern.
Hi, good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be here today with our special guest.
Yes.
We have Jennifer Kleitz with us from the Doña Ana Soil and Water Conservation District.
Hi, Jennifer.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
I
for joining
appreciate
us.
it. And I'm glad to be here. I'm very excited.
Thank
It's
you.
quite an organization you work for, and we want to hear
We're
more
doing
about
good
it.
work, yes.
You are doing good work, and I should
Awesome.
tell how I met her.
Yes, tell us.
A few months ago, I was at the evening market on the first Friday of the month, and there was this booth with very interesting people in it, and they were giving away trees. They were raffling off trees.
Right, yes.
Tell us about that.
We started doing that a couple of months ago. Our administrative assistant had a connection with it, and so we decided to have a booth there because our new office space is now on Main Street, and we have trees that are provided to us through the city of Las Cruces. They got an Apache tree grant, and so they gave us the trees to give away.
Cool.
And so every month we give away 3 trees, and then we also tell people about our NeighborWoods program and get volunteers to sign up and give them more information about the Soil Water Conservation District.
Okay,
So,
excellent.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your job and why conservation speaks to you so much?
I'm the district manager for the Soil Water Conservation District. I've been with them for 10 years. When I first started, I didn't know what the Soil Water Conservation District was. I don't have a background in ag. I grew up in the city. And as I began to learn about it and understanding the importance of soil health and water, especially in these times of such severe drought that we're experiencing in Doña Ana County. We are considered a food desert. It's very difficult to grow food if you don't have healthy soil and water.
Right.
And so what we are able to do is connect with those local producers, the community, the people who live here, and let them know about projects, programs that are available to them to help them. Help them work with the National Resource Conservation Service, NMDA, the New Mexico Department of Agriculture, these grants that become available for watershed restoration work. And so part of my job is to get those grant dollars and put them on the ground. And one of the special things about soil water conservation districts is we can put money on private land.
Oh.
We are a form of local government. We are a
Okay.
special government entity.
Right.
But we can put tax dollars on private land. So a lot of other organizations that can't come through us to help put their dollars on the ground. So
Okay.
it does good work. So yeah, we have a real special niche for a particular reason. So
Very good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very good. I have a question. What is a water district?
a watershed district?
Well, you are the Water Conservation District. That's what I should ask you. What is a Water Conservation District?
Well, there's a soil water conservation district and there's a watershed district.
Okay.
So the watershed, soil water conservation districts, we are a form of local government, and we are established through a federal program that was started in the 1930s.
Oh, wow.
And it was called the Soil Conservation Service, and now it's the Natural Resource Conservation Service, which is NRCS.
Okay, I've heard of them.
Yes. And so we have state funding, and our mission is to conserve water. Actually, if I read it right from the statute, the state statute, help conserve water, protect, and improve soil, water, and natural resources in our community through education, technical assistance, and locally driven conservation projects. And so we serve as that bridge between landowners and agencies to help put money on the ground. That's what always talk about, for projects that help create more healthy soil, preserve water, restore our watershed restoration, our rangelands, so that we can, have a better experience with our natural resources.
Okay. So how and when were soil and water districts founded? Is there kind of like is there a president, a chairperson? How does that work for you guys?
Well, actually, it started in the 1930s.
Okay.
There was a farmer in Oklahoma, I think. On our website, we have a video about the story of Hugh Hammond Bennett. And he recognized what was happening. You've heard of the Dust Bowl days,
Yes.
right? You heard about what was happening with that there was a drought. And it's not unlike what's happening to us today. We know our March winds. We know what happens out
Right.
in Deming. You can't even drive because of the dust, right? And so he recognized what the problem was, and he went to Washington so that they would put a program together to help producers put together practices and programs to increase soil health.
Okay.
And that was called the Soil Conservation Service, which is now NRCS. Now, one of the things that's really interesting, he timed his meeting before the committees in Washington when he knew that a dust storm was coming through.
Good
and
timing.
halfway through his presentation, it almost went entirely dark
Wow.
because of the dust storm that was going through in Washington that day.
Wow.
So Franklin Delano Roosevelt was the one who signed the bill into law, creating the Soil Conservation Service, which then went down to all the states, and every state has a soil and water conservation service, soil water conservation districts. And New Mexico has 47 soil and water conservation districts.
Wow.
How many are in Doña Ana specifically? Do you
We
know?
have one.
Just one. Okay.
Yes.
Is it by
And-
county?
No, because actually part of Doña Ana County doesn't belong to the Doña Ana Soil Water Conservation District. A little bit of piece that's on the upper left-hand part of the county belongs to Caballo Soil and Water Conservation District. Caballo is in Luna County, Doña Ana County, and Sierra County.
Oh, wow. So it
And
kind of spreads.
Because they've got all those dams right there.
Right.
It's
Right.
very small, but
Yeah.
they've got all those dams.
Okay.
So, yeah, so.
Okay.
Cool.
Water is a resource here that is so important. We know we're in a drought. What are some of the ways your organization protects and conserves water? That's a loaded question.
Well, it's primarily with education and putting programs on the ground. Because one of the biggest reasons for the drought we have today is because I remember I've lived in New Mexico most of my life. And I remember we had a rainy season. It was months long. You'd get a couple of, rain for a couple of hours or maybe a day and then not and then some more. And now what we have are those micro storms. So those flooding events
Right.
that come up now,
Right.
right? And when the water comes down that fast, it takes the soil with it and
Right.
fills up the river with dirt, right? And because we don't have more year-round water, we have those drought conditions. So now we have to look at, and it's the education piece, we have to look at what can we do differently that we used to do before? What can we do differently to help keep the soil in place? And part of the programs that we have are watershed restoration programs. Going up above, like where they have the dams and stuff, working up in those watersheds and slowing the water down so that when we get those micro storms, those flooding events, whether they can go into little ponding areas, there are little one rock dams that slow the water down, it can stay there a little bit longer, or at least when it's coming down, it settles into the ponding areas, the soil settles down, then the water goes down.
Okay.
Right? And so those are, that's kind of the work we want to do, is work with our producers to help them have healthier soils, more water efficient techniques for watering their crops, and protecting the soil that's in those farm areas.
What is the role of trees in water conservation, and do you partner with the Forestry Service?
Actually, yes, we have a, let's see, in 2023, we got a $5 million grant from the Forestry Service.
Bravo.
For our NeighborWoods program. And this is something that we got the program idea from Tree, New Mexico. And recognizing right before we started working on the proposal, the city of Las Cruces did a heat index study and saw where all of the, so much heat and what the primary heat areas were, right? And so we used that study to demonstrate that by planting trees in neighborhoods cools the streets
Right.
and lowers the heat index. Okay. It also prevents erosion because the trees are there to help to keep the soil in place.
Right.
And it makes the neighborhoods look nice, right?
It sure does.
And so these this program, in one day, one morning, really, we did this. The biggest one we did was at Sierra last year. And we went in and planted 70 trees in a neighborhood.
Wow.
And we gave away 100 trees.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So, and this great team of people. And so, again, it provides shade, right? So it lowers the heat index. Mm-hmm. It takes the dust out of the air. Trees do that.
Right.
And we are using native drought-tolerant trees.
Excellent. Mm-hmm. What an award that grant was for
It
you
was.
guys.
It really gave us the capacity building that we're looking for to help sustain. It's the first time we've gotten a 5-year grant.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you don't have to apply again for a while.
All right.
Right. So I was reading something on your website about how trees, they support mental health
Yes.
and reduce crime.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly.
Tell me that.
Well, actually,
Tell me about that.
It was a study when I made a presentation to the city council last year to tell them remind them about our NeighborWoods program and give them an update on it because they supported us when we put the proposal in. And one of the counselors told us about that study. Actually, I wasn't aware of it. And since then, we have met with the city's streets department because they have the streets that have like high traffic or speed. The study says that if you plant trees, it promotes a calming effect and slows down the traffic.
Okay.
So they want to partner with us when they're going to do a street project for us to come and plant some trees.
Fantastic.
So we haven't gotten to where we're doing that yet because, they've got a plan and that kind of stuff. So,
Right.
But we expect to do that in the next year or two.
That's amazing that it can reduce crime and calm people down. Mm-hmm. I mean, they say go out and spend time in nature for grounding and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of...
Yeah.
it makes sense.
It
makes
does.
sense. So where in Doña Ana was your organization responsible for those tree plantings? You said Sierra?
Sierra Middle School. So one of the things we found is that when we do a tree planting, we've got to have a staging area. That's where all the trees come, all the volunteers come, and they start out from there, and then they go into the neighborhoods. So what we found is by having a partnership, as it were, with the school district,
Right.
then we use the schools as a staging area, and usually we plant trees at the schools. If they've got an irrigation system, we'll plant trees at the school, and most of the schools do have an irrigation system. So we've planted, our first planting actually was Unitarian Universalist Church was the staging area, and that area off of Solano and South Solano, area in South Solano, that neighborhood there. That's by, not Fringer Park. Yeah, Fringer Park.
Oh, by Cruces High School.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Cool.
there you go. And then after that, we had a planting at University Hills Elementary School. We've had 2 plantings at Lynn Middle School in those
Wow.
neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And our last one was at Sierra Middle School. And then in February, we're going to have a planting at Hill Rise Elementary School in that neighborhood. And then we're going to have a planting in March at Cesar Chavez on the East Mesa in that school in that neighborhood there.
Right.
Do you physically get out there and do it?
I don't.
Amen.
I have.
You're the brains.
My program coordinator, she coordinates that all. Kat Buckman, she does a great job. Cool. That's what she does. She works on planning the events. Because it takes a lot. We have to go and let people know we're in your neighborhood. Would you like to have a tree in your front yard? Absolutely. And then we've got to go back and do a adoption, basically, and get them to sign some paperwork, figure out where we're going to plant the tree in their yard, or maybe two if they have a big enough yard.
Right.
And then the day of, and so she coordinates with our tree supplier and the guy who comes and digs the holes, because the volunteers don't have to dig the holes. The holes are already dug, so that's the big plus.
That's
we want to make sure
that's probably the hardest part. Yeah.
It is, right?
So
do you guys get like the kids involved too, and you do them at elementary schools?
We try to. Yeah. We want to make sure. Usually, if they're under 13. There's a chance, a risk, unless they're with a parent.
Right.
And so we do actually at the February event, we've got some students from Alamogordo at one of their schools coming to help plant trees at our event.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It's an awesome way to get them involved. I love it.
Yeah, and we're going to go over there and plant trees next year.
Perfect. I think that's a great way to bring awareness to the kids too on how important it is for conservation.
Their teacher mentioned it, and the kids were just all kinds of excited and kept asking her, "When are we going to do this?"
That sounds fun when you're a kid. When you're a grown up, maybe not so much. It's like, oh no, my knees,
and
right? Yeah, and especially the ones that we have in the fall, sometimes it still can be a little hot.
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely.
but that's why we don't plant in the summer. It's just it's not good for the trees, and it's not good for us.
Not good for us, yeah.
We want them all to survive.
Yes.
That's awesome. Can you tell us about some of your programs, specifically NeighborWoods, the Noxious Weeds, and the Healthy Soil program?
Yeah, so we've got the NeighborWoods program.
Yeah.
So we, like I said, we go out and we get people to adopt the trees. Right. We've got a wonderful base of volunteers. We've got some folks from the Tree New Mexico who come from Albuquerque to help us.
Wow.
And then a lot of students from the university. We're so excited. We've got students from the university come out. Cool. And so we meet that day, at the school, and then we break them into teams. And we give them some last instructions, give them a map, how many trees. The trees are already at the locations. The holes are already dug.
Sounds like something I could do.
Yes. And they go out with a team lead, someone who's experienced in planting the trees, and the other team, the rest of the team members just help put the tree in the ground and mud it in and put in the dirt and water it and work with the homeowner if they're there. And give them information about watering and how they can reach out to our tree stewards if they have any questions, or our office.
So all the support is there for this tree to really thrive.
It is. Awesome. It is. Yeah. And we monitor the trees. We go back at intervals and measure them and their height and their diameter and this and that and the other thing. And
wow. That's
great. Yeah.
We had we had one incident at the University Hills after we planted their trees. Someone came in and cut like 3 or 4 of them down. It was kind of like a vandalism thing.
Yeah.
And we went back and we just replanted more trees.
That's
for them.
awesome.
And so that our Noxious and Invasive Weeds program, that we have a contractor who works with our local producers. The state of New Mexico has... Department of Agriculture has a noxious and invasive weeds list, and there's 3 tiers. And one of the biggest noxious weeds that we have, Otero County has it, and I'm not sure if Sierra has the same issue too. Luna County has the issue, and it's with African rue. And African rue is noxious. If cows eat it, if cattle eat it, it will
boy.
make them sick.
Okay.
It'll make them very, very sick. Now, they are smart enough usually not to, but we want to get rid of it anyway.
Sure.
And so BLM, we have a grant from BLM
Look
to
at
take
you,
care
all these
of.
grants.
That's how you get the work done,
Right.
right? So, because, our legislative funding wouldn't allow us
So
to do
limited.
anything. Yeah.
Right.
So our weed treatment specialist, very good at what he does. He's been working with me for 8 years now, and really I just turn it over to him. The producers call him. He's in Roswell, actually. He comes here, schedules, because with noxious weeds, treatment, the temperature has to be right, the wind has to be right, especially if you're spraying, right?
Right.
And so the conditions have to be right. So he comes down in the spring, he gets in touch with all of our producers ahead of time and says, okay, you want me to do treatments for this and this and this, this area, that. And he comes out with his crew and they get it all done, and he writes me a report and tells me what he's
Fantastic.
done, and I pay him. And it's great to have that wonderful relationship with somebody with that kind of expertise.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And our Healthy Soils program is with the New Mexico Department of Agriculture, and it's we started in with it it's got two paths. It's got an individual grant and an eligible entity grant. So when we first started doing it, we did the individual grant. If there are producers who have a project they want to put on the ground and want money for, they apply to the Healthy Soil program.
Okay.
They're private landowners, so they need a sponsor. The Department of
Right.
Agriculture cannot pay them
Okay.
money. So we are the sponsor for them.
Excellent.
So we look at their application. Our Board of Supervisors says, yes, we'll sponsor that application. They submit it. They get funded. The contract is between the Soil Water Conservation District and NMDA.
Okay.
And then we work with the producer and make sure that we get the reports from them. They send us receipts. We invoice NMDA. NMDA pays us. We pay the producer.
Okay.
And so it's putting practices on the ground to increase healthy soil. Some of it is cover crop. Some of it is putting bee pollinator plants out. Some of it is
bravo to
doing
that.
biochar into the soil.
What's biochar?
Biochar is taking wood and you burn it very, very hot.
Okay.
And before it goes to ash, it becomes this product that when it's put into the ground with the soil, it helps add nutrients to the soil.
Oh,
Okay.
So,
a natural way to do that.
yes, yeah. Some people add like ladybugs and different kind of little worms, that kind of stuff.
Right.
So there's several different practices they can do for the Healthy Soil program, and it's grown. And so then the eligible entity part is if we want to apply
Yeah.
for a grant. So we started doing this a couple of years ago with another one of our partners, the Interstate Stream Commission, to let people do cover crop. So Interstate Stream Commission has a groundwater conservation program where producers can say, well, I'll set aside these 50 acres and I won't grow anything on it. And the state pays the money to keep it fallow, basically. Well, but keeping it fallow is not good for the soil, right? So the Interstate Stream Commission came up with funding so the soil water conservation districts can work with those producers to put cover crop.
Okay.
So we plant cover crop on there. And so that became a program of its own. So we have a cover crop program for a healthy soil program, and we have a healthy cover crop program for ISC, because ISC, you can't use any groundwater. You can only use surface water or whatever comes from the sky.
Oh,
So
wow.
They have to
Limited.
time putting the seed in the ground at the right time, right before EBID lets the water go.
Wow. What impact does climate change have on our soil and water here in Doña Ana County?
Well, that was kind of like what I was talking about earlier with those storm events.
Yeah.
How it has changed so much through climate change that we are only getting water like a month out of the year from the sky most of the time, and it comes down so fast and hard. And the ground is so dry and hard, it can't soak. So it just rushes down, and then you've got those flooding events like in La Union or this year in Vado.
Yeah.
Right.
People had inches of mud in their backyards from that flood in Vado this year. Absolutely. And all that work now that Doña Ana County Flood is doing in La Union because of the flooding event they had 6 years ago. And so putting our healthy soil practices and watershed restoration practices on the ground helps the water stay there and helps the healthy soil stay where it belongs.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you explained that really well. That was great.
Thank you.
I think a lot of times people have that misconception like, oh, we got a lot of rain this year. It doesn't mean we're not in a drought anymore, right? Or
No.
Do you have a relationship with the Elephant Butte Irrigation District?
We do. We had, when I first started, Elephant Butte Irrigation District used to be one of our contractors, the contractor who used to put water gauge instruments at the various, some dams in the area for us. And then we've worked with them over time. The previous treasurer, Gary Esslinger, would talk with us, help us when we were trying to create a watershed district in Rocky Acres. And Gary would always help explain to people about these storm and flooding events and the importance of what EBID does. And because EBID provides the irrigation water for our producers, you know, we want to be in partnership with them.
Right.
And now, actually, we have a closer relationship. The chairman of our board of supervisors is the treasurer manager of the Elephant Butte Irrigation District. Yeah.
Can you tell us about the referendum you had on the ballot in 2017?
La Union Town Site recognized the flooding issues that they had.
Right.
And so many times watershed districts are created by the homeowners or farmers and ranchers in that area. And generally there's a dam in that area.
Okay.
And this allows them, one, to get tax dollars so that they can maintain those dams and also do, you know, conservation practices in their area. So we helped them establish the watershed district, and it was established in 2017-18, and we had now there's a board of directors of 5 people in La Union, and there are dams in La Union, but Doña Ana County Flood Control does all the maintenance on that stuff.
Okay.
So, but they do have a mill levy. Watershed districts mill levies are different than soil water conservation district mill levies. Watershed district mill levies don't have to go to the public. The director says we want a mill levy. They submit it to the state, and if it gets and the state puts that in place, and then we work with the tax assessor's office to help put it in place.
And that's coming up for you now, the mill levy?
It is, excuse me. So the soil and water conservation districts, if we want to have a mill levy, we have to have it as a ballot measure. It goes before the entire voting constituent of the county.
So this is where you work with the elections portion of our office.
Right.
Nice.
Partially,
Okay,
partially.
partially.
We also work with the elections office when we have our board elections, because 5 of our supervisors are elected,
Right.
and 2 of our supervisors are appointed. So the appointed supervisors have 1-year terms.
Okay.
So every July, we make recommendations to the Soil Water Conservation Commission, and if they approve it, then we have those 2 appointed supervisors.
Okay.
Our 5 elected supervisors are, according to the statute, must be landowners. 4 of the 5 must be landowners within the district.
Okay.
And one of them is considered at large. So when we have the elections, after people have submitted their candidacy, then the clerk's office sends us the list. We double check that they are landowners,
Okay.
and so that it is within the. Actually, our GIS guy made a little map for me so I can put in the address and make sure that they're within the district. Because sometimes we've had people who are interested, but they live in Caballo.
Oh,
Okay. So wrong district.
Yeah.
Wrong
Oops.
district.
You know, one of the things I do personally myself is work the elections every year.
Do you?
Yeah.
Good.
Oh,
Awesome. So
thank
you're
you for
familiar
your
with her office.
service.
Yes, I
Yeah.
actually got a phone call about, you're going to work the primaries, right?
Oh,
And I was
there you
like,
go.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes.
hear
Yeah.
I hear the elections behind me. We kind of have our office divided a little bit into the clerk section and the election section, and I hear them on the phone all the time now. You're going to come
Oh,
with
yeah.
us, or did somebody call a Mrs. So and so?
It's already starting though.
Yeah, it's starting.
Yes.
We're getting
Yes,
ready.
It never ends actually, really. So
Right,
true.
Yeah.
right, yeah.
one right
That's
into
true.
the other.
And there's so much attention on it now, so.
Yes, yes. So how can folks get in touch with you and find out more about your organization? Do you guys have monthly meetings or anything like that?
Yes, according to the state statute, we have to have monthly meetings. So our supervisors meet on the 2nd Tuesday of every month at 9 a.m. And currently our board meetings are held at the Elephant Butte Irrigation District Conference Room. Our office is at 424 North Main Street, Suite 200. It's the bright green building on Main Street where Dwell Yoga's there too.
Right.
Okay.
And so that's where our office is, and our website, of course, and we're getting ready to update that. One of the things, if I could just add a little bit more about
Sure.
the mill levy, is the importance of the mill levy would be to ensure we have capacity. For instance, the NeighborWoods program is a wonderful program for the city of Las Cruces and the county of Doña Ana. And once that grant's over, the program stops.
Right.
If we have a mill levy, it costs $250,000 a year to run that program.
Right.
If we have a mill levy, we can continue that program.
Right.
So also, with a mill levy, we could stop, we can expand our staff so that we have more than just one part-time field tech
Right.
who goes out and works with our producers, showing them practices. She goes out right now and does soil assessments on their property. And we are sending her to education, to trainings, to give her more information about virtual fencing and soil health, conservation plans. The NRCS is currently a little understaffed, and conservation plans are required to participate for an applicant to be with a healthy soil program. So somebody's got to do that con plan. You don't get your con plan done in time, your application won't be accepted.
Right.
If we've got staff in the office that can help and do those con plans, we can support our constituents better.
Right.
We can help put more of these practices on the ground for the watershed restoration
Right.
up above on the West Mesa to help alleviate this flooding.
Yeah.
And it allows us so much more resources for sustainability and for us to grow. I had told you before, we grew from having a budget of $17,000 to where we're at now, but that's grant funding.
Right.
We currently do this. The legislature is trying to support us, and we are very, very grateful for that. But that money comes and goes depending on, the situation.
Right.
And so we are going to really educate people about the importance of this. And I know, many people don't like more taxes. What we're looking at is something that's maybe like $25 to $50 a year if you have like a $250,000 home. And think of all the wonderful things we're doing.
Right.
Because also part of our NeighborWoods program, what we do, we plant trees, but if those schools have like a food pantry, we do a food drive.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
And
wow.
next year, our idea is next year we're going to identify a local veterinarian who can come to one of our tree plantings. And after the volunteers go plant the trees, they're usually gone for like 2 hours. We'll have people be able to come by and get their pets chipped and vaccinated.
Wow.
That would be great.
So we're partnering with the community to get these
Right.
things done. But it requires more overhead money than we currently have.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all about education. If you don't really know too much about it, you see it on the
Yes.
ballot and you're just like, well, what is this?
Right, exactly,
So,
exactly. I don't know how many phone calls I get with people
Yeah.
going, who am I supposed to vote for? Who are these people? And so I encourage them to come and visit us, call, and if there's an organization out there like Rotary Club or something like that wants me to make a presentation and talk, I'm happy to do so.
Thank you so
course.
much for coming. That was
welcome.
very informative.
Yes, I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
People don't know,
Yeah.
what we do, and different districts do different things. Obviously, we don't do a lot of tree thinning in the forest because
Right.
we don't have forest over
Right.
here.
We
but
want the
that's one
trees.
of the big programs that Otero Soil and Water does.
Right.
Well, that does it for this episode of Preserving History and Democracy. We want to thank our special guest once again, Ms. Jennifer Kleitz, for joining us. Thank you, Bern, for finding another incredible guest for us. It's very informative.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to Jacob behind the camera for all that you do. Make sure to follow us on all our social media pages and listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll see you next time.